Howdy folks, I'm Colonel Sanders and you're not. And for the employees at the Kentucky Fried Chicken that I reviewed their food on that said I'm not Colonel Sanders, I am Colonel Sanders. I've held the commission of Kentucky Colonel for about 10 years now. Very proud of that, very proud of my family history. Now, I reviewed the food and I told you what it was. Said it was slop. We cleared out a rumor that people were spreading about the Kentucky Fried Chicken not using pressure cookers. They do use those, so that rumor out the door. It's false. They use them. I want to address what the very unprofessional managers that reached out through social media to attack me, insult my family relation, and cuss at other customers for posting public complaints about the food being soggy from that location. And before that comment was made, I was going with what the GM told me through social media, that it's because the buckets don't have proper ventilation. So let's look at the buckets. I have one right here from that location. So here's the GM's comments about people complaining about the chicken being soggy. Since the bucket's existence, they have had these vent holes in the lids to allow steam to properly come out of the bucket. Now in Corbin, Kentucky, when we went to that Kentucky Fried Chicken, the food was not soggy. And we could leave it sitting inside the bucket for at least 15 minutes to still be hot, fresh, and not soggy. So these buckets do actually have ventilation in them, and they have since their existence when they were invented. Perhaps the soggy chicken has to do with taking 30 to 40 minutes to prepare a meal at certain locations, and they leave it inside of the bucket for that long until they finish preparing the rest of the meal, and that could cause it to get soggy. So we don't live far. It doesn't take that long for chicken to get soggy. And to update folks, I did get a hold of corporate and the owners, and I did file a formal complaint with a very strong worded message to them about how passionate I am about my uncle's recipe and his quality being met at every location that displays his image and name. I gave the prime examples of excellence and great customer service and quality from other Kentucky Fried Chickens across the state of Kentucky and the country, because those are leading examples of what it's supposed to be, and that it is possible to achieve that. When corners are being cut, that's when it's not possible to achieve it. And corners most definitely were being cut with the quality that we received and the service we received. Nobody should be afraid of having to voice their opinions on the quality that they got. Nobody should be afraid of calling in and complaining about meals that were not up to par and were missing things. And certainly I shouldn't have to be insulted for being related to the Colonel and upholding his legacy and wanting to see my family legacy going strong through the brand with good food if it's being displayed underneath the Colonel's name and image. I shouldn't have to be insulted for that, for criticizing a location. I shouldn't be told that my head should be bashed in by my uncle himself for putting down a location. I gave a location a fair review based off of the service we received and the food we received. Very fair review. And my own personal opinions on it when we cleared up rumors, too, in favor of that location. I don't want to dwell on the location. I've gotten in contact with the owners, and they're going to handle it. But I did want to point out some of the things that the GM was spouting off on the internet and cussing at customers who dare make a public complaint of things that are true and false. So the buckets do have ventilation. And yes, that is proper ventilation. When you put the chicken in the bucket the way that you were trained to do so, and it's actually fresh, not refried, not even suspected to be refried, then it's going to come out 100% every time. Now I'd like to address everybody that's asking me to go around to different counties and trying their Kentucky Fried Chickens, both good and bad ones, to review them and put an honest review out there. I'd love to do that. I actually would. I think it would benefit the brand and myself very well. I was told this by other owners of Kentucky Fried Chicken stores in the state of Kentucky. By me putting a review like that online and contacting the store and corporate the way I did, it's giving the store an opportunity to learn from their mistakes and correct them, rather than a regular customer who would just write it off as a don't go again, and they don't have a chance to fix their mistakes and they just continue making those mistakes. And after my visit 3 years ago in Corbin, Kentucky, to talk about the quality and try the quality for the first time in years and see how good it has become, I don't base my opinion on all stores off of one store. I do know what it's supposed to be like. I know the ins and outs of the business. I know how it was ran when my uncle ran it, and through the people today, I know how it's ran today, how it's supposed to be. So when people start bull crapping me excuses, I know that they're just full of it and nothing's going to get done. We need to go to corporate for it. Things just need to be right. It doesn't sit well with me when customers are disregarded, when I and my family as customers are disregarded or lied to or whatever it is. It doesn't sit well. The quality is not good, doesn't sit well. Things just need to be right. And I think we've gone away from that after so many years of selling out to several different major corporations over the years and having so many franchisees out there, good and bad, whatever it is. We've gone away from doing things right. And I think it's time that we start getting back to doing things right. I hope that this is a step towards correcting the wrongs within the brand and other restaurants too, to start taking it more seriously. And for customers, save your receipts. On the receipts, they actually tell you how to file your complaint, not just going to the website and filling out a thing and saying something, but actually going to the survey place. Save your receipt with the information on it, and that will notify corporate and whoever the owners of that franchise are. And somebody of a representative would get back to you to get more information and then go forward with the complaint in case that was filed. And this is something that has to happen to correct the wrongs. That way, there's not so many bad reviews. And if there are bad reviews, they can have a follow-up review with how the customer service went and how they made it right, and a future review of whether they're better or not. So my message is, don't be afraid to say something if it's wrong. I'm not afraid to say something. I don't really care what people think of me. I know what the truth is. I know what my family history is. I know what the quality is supposed to be. And I have high respect for a lot of people within the brand. And, I had to grow and learn, and I still have more learning to do. But because of the folks that I'm in connection with now and my family, I've learned a lot. And I hold a lot of respect for some people that are inside the leadership of Kentucky Fried Chicken. There are some hardworking people there who do not want to cut corners. And as a customer to be disrespected in such a way, and other customers be disrespected in such a way, I won't stand for it. I may not represent the brand. I may not work for them. Heck, I know that I can't afford to buy the whole company back. I don't need a assistant manager commenting that. That's very unprofessional. My page is about reviewing Kentucky Fried Chickens, other restaurants in relation to this family that we helped create or had hands in creating or did create, and also the history and a lot of misinformation that's spread around about it, correcting that and giving people a better understanding and deeper dive into the history. And yes, I play video games. And to the assistant manager that wanted to insult me, calling me a man-child that can't get off the PlayStation, I play the Xbox.